All right, guys, so finding the courage to embrace change and take chances is not always easy. We know that. And we're always pushing that on our show, too.
That's
But
right.
it may be the only way to succeed, even in business. So joining us with some helpful insight is award-winning speaker and author of Make Change Work for You, Scott Steinberg. Scott, I want to welcome you to our show.
Hello, hello. How's it going this morning?
Hey,
It's
Scott.
going good, and this is a great topic to talk about. And if there's one thing everybody can agree on, it's that change is constant.
Absolutely.
It really is. And when it comes to the professional world, I mean, how can working professionals and organizations succeed in really unpredictable environments?
Well, one of the big pieces we talk about is finding that courage to constantly make smart, objective decisions and to actually take more risks. So the trouble is oftentimes, I think, when we get in a comfortable groove, especially the more successful we are, the more we want to do the same thing over and over and over again. But if the world is constantly changing, especially the business world, and value and relevancy are changing, it's kind of hard to achieve increasing results by doing the same thing over and over, right? You gotta
That
take
seems
smart
like a
risks.
no-brainer, though, right?
It does, but at the same time, I think people are scared if they try something new and mess up, they could be kicked out.
that's
And when
right.
it's hard to find a job, I mean, you know.
Yeah, and actually making mistakes is the #1 fear in the workplace. But what you find is that the most successful organizations, they actually encourage people to speak up and take chances and do things differently and not simply clock in, do the same thing 9 to 5 and then clock out.
Well, so we've got this book here of yours, Make Change Work for You. And I love this because you actually have some tips on how to future-proof your career. And we're going to talk about a few of them. I mean, we've got a bunch, but I love your first one right off the bat, become essential. How do we make ourselves essential to the workplace?
Well, one of the big things is to look for roles in your organization that are inherently difficult to replace, right? So basically, if you can do something that anybody else can do on paper, you can expect that if it can be done better, faster, cheaper, probably will, maybe outsource, right? So you want to look for some very difficult or rare skills to come by. For example, you may be your company's go-to expert on regulatory issues, very complex ones, or it's IT security pro. Try and find something that other people will struggle to do that's very unique, very specialized, because the harder it is to replace you, the more painful it's going to be and the more job security you're going to have.
It gives you some bargaining there too, if you had to, you know. Other ones, rethink your value.
That's right, yeah. So like we were saying, value and relevancy, constantly moving targets. You got to think about, for others in your organization, for your customers, what are you doing, what are you offering them that other people simply can't? So how are you increasing your skills, how are you expanding your capabilities, your comfort zones, in such a way that you are the person they want to work with, because they've got dozens of other people, hundreds of other possible clients or vendors that they may want to work with. What's to recommend you? So always
need to know those things too, because if your boss comes to you and says, why should we keep you? You don't want to be like, well.
Let me think about that.
That's right, that's right.
Definitely.
And you know what, the one I like is change and evolve. And at least for me, I definitely have problems moving forward.
Well, that's the thing, right? The most successful people always say that they are eternal students. So they're always soaking up things from the world around them. They're volunteering for new opportunities. They're taking on leadership roles. Really, you know, even right? At times you have to push yourself to pick up new skills and go back to school or take night courses or get involved in volunteer projects. That's important, that professional development piece. And oftentimes we're so happy or we're so focused on the here and now that we don't think about the big picture.
It's crazy. Never stop learning definitely plays into that. And then your last one, okay, we want to take risks, but how do we know which ones are the smart risks? Because that's very important.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, if I had it completely figured out, I'd be charging you $6.95 a minute. You could dial the hotline.
There you go.
But the truth is, you know, the best thing you can do is make strong but weakly held opinions and decisions. So basically, you do your homework, you think about what opportunities may help you get from here to there in your career. You have a set goal, you understand how taking on these risks can move you forward in that, but at the end of the day, right, you can't make perfect decisions. All you can do is act, play out your strategy, see how it evolves, and based on the feedback you get, course correct. So sometimes that means having to take the plunge, start that side business, start that side career, go to the networking event, go to the conference, even though it may cost some money. Maybe you're going to meet the people you need to help take you to the next level.
Well, and I kind of want to tie that into today's challenge, because we're telling people let go of damaged relationships, damaged people. What if your job, you feel like you're just in this rut? How do you know that it's time to just take that risk?
Well, I think
it's scary.
like you guys were talking about earlier, I think your gut tells you, right? You have a good sense as to when it's not a good fit, you're not happy, you're just coming in, you're clocking out, doing the same things over and over. Maybe you have this instinct, you know that your industry is evolving in a specific direction, you've got some anxiety or paranoia, that maybe you need to pick up new skills, maybe you haven't kept up to date. These are the types of things that let you know when it's time to move on, and it's always important to be looking for that next big opportunity.
That's awesome. And what's one piece of advice, very simple, that we can take away from your book?
Well, sometimes you just have to leap, right? I don't think at any point in history in my career parents, friends ever tell you, you know, hey, that's really a good idea to do something different, especially when you have a safe, stable job, you're making money, right, and everything seems to be going well. You know, sometimes you know when the fit is right for you, and you just have to push yourself. You just have to take the jump, take the leap of faith, and then you can figure it out. I mean, there's so many people, so many stories of people who stepped way outside their comfort zone, but you can always find a way to reel it in as long as you're smart about it.
So we're just doing it.
Well, you definitely walk the walk, because I got to say, we've worked together in various ways over the years through television, whether it's tech stuff, advice, you've got the book. I mean, so you definitely know how to change and evolve. So I'm recommending this for you guys, Make Change Work for You by Scott Steinberg. I want to thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.